Taekook's phone starts ringing when he's in the middle of a beta trying to ask him out, and, apparently, he has terrible manners because he doesn't think even twice about interrupting him with a brisk no, mumbling out an excuse before he's walking away. He wouldn't, normally, because he doesn't mind going on dates and enjoying some casuals once in a while, and he's not usually this rude to people. But this is Jungkook's ringtone and there's no way he's not answering. "Hey, Cookie," he sighs into the phone, warmth spreading through him despite his reluctance. Taekook. The Omega's voice on the other side of the line is squeaky and slightly panicked, and the blood in Taekook's veins turns to ice. "I'm sorry, I know it's late, but I was panicking and I didn't know who to call. If you can't talk right now, it's okay. But please, can you call me back as soon as you can? I really need your help, please." Hey, calm down, take a deep breath, come on. I always have time for you, you know that. Tell me what's wrong. He listens to the Omega's ragged breath against his ear until it slowly returns to normal. "Thank you, Ty. Sorry if I freaked out, but I'm really desperate and scared. Someone wants to take the shop away from me. I don't really understand all the legal shit they've tried to explain, but apparently, when me and left the shop, to me mum, there was some type of clause, and now this piss-smelling prick can take it even if I don't want to give it to him, cause it was never technically ours to begin with. And he's going to tear it down and build some bloody stupid fast food of his in its place." Jungkook sighs in frustration and pulls at his hair, distressed beyond words and getting more worked up the more he talks. "I've tried to have him change his mind, and he said that he would sell it back to me if I paid him $200 for next February, and I don't have that kind of money, Taekook. I could never afford it even if I had more time. Honestly, I'm not broke by any means, but I don't make that much, you know? It's enough to get me by and live comfortably, but that kind of sum is defo out of me league. I was hoping that maybe you could take a look at the contract or whatever and see if there's a loophole or something to stop this from happening." Jungkook's voice cracks and the sound almost breaks the alpha's heart. "I know I can't probably afford you, at least not the whole fee in one single payment, but we could come up with a payment plan maybe? Please. You know how important the shop is to me. I can't lose it. Please, don't insult me like that. Don't even worry about the money. Of course I'll help you, Cookie. I'll pay you, Taekook. I'm not making you work for free, even if we're best mates. But thank you for accepting to help me. It really means a lot to me. I can send you all the stuff via email and you can look at it wherever you can and let me know if you find Oda." Taekook shakes his head and huffs out in disbelief at him, even though he knows the other boy can't see him. "No, I'll fly out tomorrow and we can discuss things in person. I'll work from there." The Omega bites his bottom lips and blinks at the ceiling. "You don't have to come all the way here just for this. You can do it from London just as easily, can't you? I don't want to bother you more than what I'm already doing." Taekook would love to say yes and avoid having to go, because it's been years since they last saw each other and he's still not ready, not even a little bit, to see him in person and find out all the things they've stopped talking about. "What do you have to do that's more important than talking to me? Do you have a date?" Jungkook giggles maniacally into the phone, heart almost beating out of his chest with the fear of getting a positive answer. From the other side of the line there's a beat of silence and then a curt cough. "I don't think we should discuss these things with each other. It's inappropriate." The alpha is hoping the other boy doesn't notice how bitter he sounded just now. All the resentment stemming from seeing the Omega he's been in love with since he was 14 date other people right in front of him for years, bubbling violently to the surface. He doesn't want to hear about it anymore, not now that he's ran far enough away that he doesn't have to suffer through it anymore. He refuses to listen to him fawn over even just one more boyfriend. He needs to set some boundaries, for himself and his own sanity, because he can't do this anymore. He doesn't want to know what's happening in his love life. He wants to live without ever knowing about his relationship status. They do say ignorance is bliss, after all. Oh, Jungkook has to swallow down the hurt and the disappointment. Yeah, of course. It's not me business and I can't keep getting away with being this nosy now that I'm not a kid anymore. I get it. Sorry for overstepping. Yeah, no one says anything for a while, both of them lost in their own thoughts. Well, I have to go now. I'll call you in a few days. Yeah, sure, Tae. Have fun, bye. The alpha starts to get dressed for the annual dinner his law firm hosts, body stiff and mind still reeling from the conversation he's just had. He tries to shake all the thoughts about Jungkook away from his mind, not wanting his colleagues to notice something's wrong and nag him about it. Jungkook, miles away from him, is trying to stop the tears from falling, sniffling quietly as to not disturb the quiet that fell upon the room as soon as he ended the call. The idea of Taehyung going on a date right now and cutting short the time that should have been reserved for him for the sake of this unknown person has his stomach twisted in painful knots. Taehyung has dated lots of people in the past, but he's always dropped everything whenever Jungkook called. He's ashamed to admit how many times he's done this just to get the vicious satisfaction of seeing the alpha put him first, even when it came down to a choice between Jungkook and his partners. No one has ever taken his place in Taehyung's life. There was never anyone that was worth setting Jungkook aside for, ever. But now, it seems, things are different. And it breaks his heart. The alpha didn't even have the courtesy to tell him to his face that he was seeing someone that was more important than him. Why? Has he realized that Jungkook likes him like that and now feels uncomfortable talking about his relationships with him? The Omega was never subtle about his feelings, so of course he knows and of course he doesn't like him back. And this is the last straw for him. What makes him curl into himself tighter and start sobbing loudly? The thought of having friendship up for good. He doesn't want to go because he can't risk seeing Jungkook in a relationship and just the idea of it is making him sick with how wrong it feels, mated to someone else. It would absolutely destroy him, the one thing he couldn't handle. The choice he's made years ago to try and salvage their friendship and his own sense of peace has come back to bite him in the ass now. He knows he can't stay away either. His alpha instincts are screaming at him that he needs to go to his distressed Omega and take care of him. No, I'll come, his voice firm. I'm my own boss, so I can take all the time I need and want. I can still pinch in on my other cases from there if my associates need help. The Omega grits his teeth and scowls at his traitor body, heart racing with excitement at the news that he's going to actually see Taehyung after years of being apart, his Omega yipping and running in circles with his tongue lolling out and tail wagging wildly. Oh, okay, well, let me know when you're going to arrive at the airport, yeah? I'll pick you up. Taehyung shakes his head and can't help but tease him like he used to. Oh, okay, well, don't sweat it. I can just take and obey it. Don't be daft, it's the least I can do. See you tomorrow, I guess. The Omega huffs out to laugh. This is so weird. After years of not seeing each other, it's almost surreal to think that tomorrow I'll wake up and you'll really be home. Yeah, it really is, he answers softly, heart skipping a beat at the Omega's use of the word home. It does feels bizarre indeed. The alpha can't really wrap his head around it. It still doesn't feel real when he's buying the ticket or when he's packing his stuff or when he's on the plane. It finally hits him when he's walking with his luggage towards the exit of the airport and he's met with the sight of Jungkook holding up a glittery sign with his name in big bold letters, a matching sparkling grin on his pretty face. He almost loses his breath there and then. The pictures he's seen over the years didn't do him justice, at all. He's always looked gorgeous and Taehyung's heart skipped a beat every single time he saw a picture, but this, seeing him in person? He's ethereal, his appearance almost unearthly in its beauty. He's a heavenly vision and the alpha wants to drop to his knees in front of him to worship him like the goddess he is. The spell is broken when a body slams into him carrying a wonderful enticing smell of sweet oranges and lavender, and his arms automatically slide under the thighs wrapped around his waist, luggage cluttering carelessly to the ground. The Omega pushes his face in his neck, nose seeking out his scent gland to sniff at it and rub his smell all over it, small needy whines escaping his throat. Tae-hyung can't help but send him back, the alpha inside of him rumbling in pleasure at having the Omega completely covered in his own scent, almost drenched in it. Jungkook slowly slides down, Tae-hyung's hands settling on his hip. It's second nature for him, until his feet are back on the ground, and he smiles up at him while excitedly waving the sign he's still clutching in his hands. "Look, Tae-hyung. I made you a welcome home sign," he chirps out. "I saw. Thank you, Cookie, that was really nice of you." The Omega smiles shyly and rocks on the ball of his feet. "Hey, sorry for jumping on you like that. I know it's not really appropriate, but I just got too excited." Tae-hyung winces when he hears Jungkook use the word appropriate, though it goes thankfully unnoticed, giving him the chance to school his face back into something more relaxed and nonchalant. "Don't worry about it. It was nice to get welcomed back this warmly," he chuckles and waves him off while he picks his luggage back up. "Come on, let's go. I really want to get settled into the hotel, have a proper meal and then sleep. I need to get up bright and early tomorrow and go over the stuff for your case."